My name is Lianna Matos, and this is my retelling of a narrative. Much of history is full of stories of big, strong men running countries on their own. But what history often forgets are the women behind the scenes. Much is the case with Elizabeth Woodville. In 1462, she was the widow of Sir Thomas Grey and had 2 sons of her own. She was living with her mother and father, the Lord and Lady of the Rivers, when she met King Edward IV. Elizabeth was a widow with 2 sons, which was considered a taboo back in 1462. And not only that, she was a few years older than her future husband-to-be. King Edward IV saw her and fell in love with her immediately, making her Queen of England and his wife. She was the King of England for the majority of the Wars of the Roses until her husband's death in 1482 of illness. Afterwards, Elizabeth was left to fend for her own because on his deathbed, King Edward IV named his brother, Richard, Lord Protector of their 2 sons, one of them being the future King of England. The 2 princes were taken to London Tower and disappeared. Elizabeth was left without money, security, or title because Richard and his wife Anne Neville hated her. She spent many of the years following her husband's death in sanctuary at their local church. When King Henry Tudor usurped the English throne, Elizabeth Woodville saw this as an opportunity to save her family and put her children back on the throne where they belonged. She ended up arranging a marriage between her eldest daughter, Lizzie of York, with the newly minted Henry Tudor, thus beginning the Tudor dynasty. Elizabeth Woodville succeeded in a world that was completely ran by men. She used her wit, her resources, and her courage to get her family through a difficult time. Elizabeth Woodville ended up to live to see her daughter become queen and the births of her 3 grandchildren, Arthur and the future King Henry VIII of England. Elizabeth is a woman whose story I hope is told for the rest of time. She is such an influential and important member of English history. And if you didn't already know, Elizabeth Woodville is an ancestor of the current monarch, Queen Elizabeth II of England. Thank you.